Welcome, everybody. This is Michael Jeffries and Walter chatting non-duality. And Michael Jeffries has a website. It's michaeljeffries.wordpress.com. And I was there looking for quotes and things to discuss today. You also have weekly online satsang meetings every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And that's on Zoom. And I noticed you have the Michael Jeffries non-duality community on Facebook as well. And I've listened to a few of your meetings and they're fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And I can't get enough of Nkosi. It's really good. And I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you being here today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. And before we get started,
Yeah, sure.
I have to tell you, I loved your recent interview with Mei Long.
Oh, wow. Mei Long is amazing.
Well, you posted it in my group, and that was really, well, it was just beautiful to watch the two of you.
I was like vibrating the whole time. It was. I don't have any expectations going into this, and once we started going, I just so many times I just paused and just was in awe of this message, and it was a beautiful conversation. I really enjoyed it. So in similar fashion, I found some great quotes from you, Michael Jeffries. And if you don't mind, I'd like to toss a few out there and see what happens. All right. Okay. The first one I got here is, we miss the miracle by searching for it. I wonder what you might say about that.
Well, that's why the word paradox is sometimes used. Because if it's already here, if it's already all that is, where exactly are you going to go to find it?
Yeah. And do we, how do we, it says we miss it. Oh, I'm getting an echo here. I wonder, are you hearing that as well?
You sounded okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just, in my head, hearing myself in my head. The part, we miss the miracle by searching for it.
Because the me says, and that's what was so beautiful about your conversation with May, is she was just so clear. The me cannot see this moment as fulfilled. It just can't. It's seeking. It doesn't even actually know what it's seeking. It's just seeking.
That's true. Yeah. It doesn't even know what it's seeking. There's another one. Everything is it, which is why you'll never find it. It seems a similar theme. There's been other things written that it can't be found because it's already everything. It's in the seeking. It's the search. It's the seeker. It's all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Already.
Yeah.
So that was for me. If you've seen my Wednesday night Zoom meetings, I often will say my favorite word from Nkosi was the word already. Because when he said, there's no me already, I mean, for me, I took it literally. So there wasn't really a debate. I know, it's possible you can not hear that as well. But if it happens to know me already, that just cut the lights off. There is literally no one to seek.
Yes. That is great. Yeah. That's what was so clear, that there was never any volition. There was never any separate entity with, this that's apart from what's already happening. There isn't a free will and choice, or there is no. It was just so clear that there was no me ever here or anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because once it's seen here, so to speak, it's it's just universal, it seems. There's no controlling entity, there's no causation.
No, which the me, that doesn't work for the me. Right? Because for the me, I depend as a me on cause and effect, don't I, Walter?
Yes. So what is the me? Because there's a lot of talk about me's, and then we end up saying that the me was never real in the first place. So we're talking about an illusion, I guess.
Yeah, it's the reason it's a paradox and it can't be figured out is because it's an illusion that never happened.
I think it was Stephen Walensky was talking about, it's an appearance appearing to an appearance. An appearance is apparently appearing to another appearance.
Yeah. I used to listen to all those guys, Walensky, hundreds of them, but that's another thing I really resonated with May is like when she said it can't be figured out, like nobody knows. That can either resonate or not. And if it doesn't, it's fine. They'll just be more trying to figure it out, which is cool. And God knows, I did it for many, many years. But at a certain point, that can, I don't know.
The need to know.
Yeah, it just falls away.
Echo. I wish I could do something about it. The need to know just falls away.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Walter, what would this moment be like without the need to know anything?
Well, what needs to know though?
Yeah, exactly. No, you just.
But I mean, if there is an apparent need to know, it's still just this appearing as someone that needs to know.
Right. But that's the question is, are we living, where are we? Are we living as if it's a real, I'm really here and I've got a life and I have to manage my life and I'm doing, because what does Nkosi say? Oh, effortless and obvious.
Effortless and obvious. So what is effortless? What is it that is effortless?
Well, so effortless is what's always here.
Well, there's no one making any effort.
Right. As soon as there's a someone, there's effort.
But the someone is a belief, I would think, right?
It feels real. I mean, it feels like, it's not just a belief. It's, you've heard Jim and these guys talk about that. I mean,
Oh,
I don't really
contracted.
talk. Yeah, I don't really say that. That to me is too much. But I mean, I get what they're saying. It's just like there can be a sense of, um, I would say it like this, Walter. There can be a sense that the separation really feels real, and you can't argue with that. Apparently.
Well, what's the way out of that?
Um, that exact feeling, however you're experiencing it, yeah, however it's showing up over there for Walter, that exact experience is this too.
What experience? What experience? Oh my God, I gotta figure out this audio. I'm sorry. What experience are you referring to?
Just now, when you said I got to figure out this audio, right now, the immediacy of what's happening right now,
Mhm.
this is what this is it, Walter. This is all that's happening. Nothing else is happening. Everything else is imagined. So that's this getting frustrated that its audio is got a echo. That's this. It's not you. There's no you there.
Yes. How about an illusion cannot explain itself?
Oh, that's so funny because I was actually just thinking, you're so funny, Walter, because I was thinking for some reason that one popped into my head just a few hours ago, and I had no idea you were gonna. Because I thought it was a funny quote. Like when I just flew into my head, I said, "Well, that's a funny. Like, how would you? So you tell me, what does that quote mean for you?"
What is an illusion? Oops. Let me just. I'm gonna just go ahead and unplug this thing so it doesn't seem to be working. Sorry, technical
No.
difficulties. I don't even know where it is. All right, never mind. I was going to deal with it. An illusion cannot explain itself. Well, the me is the illusion. So a me, it's like no thought process can transcend itself. It's very biased. Like May was saying, the me is this bundle. It's a bundle of concepts, ideas, beliefs. It feels real and solid. You were referencing a contracted sense of energy or whatever people say. This bundle is the illusion. So that bundle cannot explain itself. And that bundle will never find peace. It will never know how to get rid of itself.
Right. That's it. So how would an illusion get rid of itself? Because the idea is that illusion doesn't really exist.
Mhm.
So like it would be like asking how would a mirage get rid of itself? Well, it didn't make itself appear in the first place.
Yeah.
So what kind of makes our meeting a little different is there's nothing to do. When you come to our meeting, there's
Sorry. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
There's
Do you
nothing to
want
do at your meeting. Oh, now I can't hear you. Oh, goodness.
Oh, you just muted yourself, Walter.
Okay, how's that?
There you go.
All right, I can hear you. This is better. Okay, figured it out. All right. Worked out the kinks. Okay. Yeah, I like your format because there's no, it seems like everybody's just free to engage and share. And it's not the traditional sort of asking questions of the guru, you know?
Yeah, no guru. No
Yeah,
guru. That's the thing. It's just, it's all there is this. And every expression is this.
yeah.
And you know, the thing is, that can get misheard. It's not saying you're gonna like every expression. You know, as I said last Wednesday night, you may not like snakes and you may like butterflies, but they're still both this.
And when we say this, what are we talking about?
Everything.
Everything is this?
And I have to say, the other thing, another thing of Nkosi's that when he said it, it was so perfect. He said, everything is this, even what seems to be an exception.
But who would know what's an exception?
Right, there is no exception. There's only this. But the me doesn't, the me lives as if there is an exception, right? Because me is separate. So there's all this plus me, and that's painful for some of us.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess I don't think that much about the me. So if we keep coming back to something that is not real.
Right, but you're not doing that.
Yeah, but that's what's apparently happening.
Yeah, everything is just what's apparently happening. It's right. So there's no like rules or like it's just so free, right? The me lives in a world of what's fair, right? Everything is about what's fair. Well, that's not fair. Constantly, the me is right. That's the judgment, and that's why I posted that quote by May when she said, "This it's impossible for this to judge this. It can't do it because to judge you need to."
Well, that's what you have here. Yeah, there's just what's happening and no one's doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the whole really. But it's like now you hear when it's too simple because you can't do anything with that.
Well, who would do anything with it?
Whoever's trying to do something, I don't know. I mean, yeah, exactly.
I mean, if trying to do something with this happens, it's just what's apparently happening by no one to no one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong with this message. You have another quote: wholeness, everything is effortless, boundless, weightless, and already the case for no one, because all separation is imagined. You know, all separation's imagined. So all this me stuff, it's imagination. So is there a way, I guess the question would be, is there it's sometimes I hear in the meetings that the suggestion is given to contemplate certain ideas, concepts. And do you think that could enable somebody to see that all separation is imagined? You know, could it lead, you know, is there a way to lead someone through this?
No, because there isn't someone to begin with. That's the message. There already isn't anyone in the body, in any of the bodies. It appears that way, right? That's the sense of separation. I'm here, he's there, she's there, the car is there, the flowers are there. So it's like a world of separate things.
But like, say, in a session or in the meeting, I wonder, what does pondering these concepts do?
No, it's a good question. Because I had said something, and the person I said it to at the meeting, it didn't seem to really, you know, but somebody else caught it in a comment, and they were like, wow. And the comment I made was that I said, don't say another word until you know who's speaking.
Well, then we never speak again.
Right. But the beauty of it, Walter, right? It may just dawn on you that that voice isn't you. You don't have the ability to. That's what making this voice is also that voice. It's just, you could say different instruments in the story. So that's it, Walter. You begin to have an appreciation for all the expressions, all the instruments. And a me can't do that. You know, me's too busy judging and trying to figure out who's a benefit and, you know, who can help me and, you know, who's a waste of my time, right? But this just loves all the expression. Doesn't mean it's going to want to, you know, hang around every expression, but it's not seen as separate. It's just another, wow.
Yeah. Time, thought is an appearance in this. So
I love your voice. You know, you remind me, Walter, remember the guy who does the movie voiceovers? You know,
movie voiceover. Oh, like in a world.
Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of.
Can you imagine? Like,
I don't know what's going on. I'm trying not to be too close to it because it's like very booming and I might be, but I'm trying not to talk too much. But time and thought is an appearance in this. So what can you say about time and thought?
well, they're the same.
Yeah. I mean, they just arise in this simultaneously. You know, 10,000 things, as they say. All right, here's a good one. I'd like to get into this one. How can what doesn't exist suffer?
Oh, yeah. Whew.
That's heavy.
It is. It is. Because me's whole, right, is about being a martyr. You know, let me tell you how I've suffered. And then you can tell me how you've suffered, and I'll pretend to care. Right? I mean, every me is really only concerned with itself, if we're honest.
Well, what do you mean by suffer? Maybe we should start there.
Well, it's assumed that there's a sufferer there. It's just assumed. You know, I suffered from depression for a large portion of my life, really severe depression. And it was an identity. I knew who I was. I was this depressed guy, and I had the whole story.
So when you say suffering, you're talking about identification.
Yeah. I'm the sufferer. It's just assume that. Nobody looks. That's another thing that, you know, we do at my meeting is we just look. So rather than talk about the story, you know, and go on, let's look for the one. Well, can we find the one who's suffering in this moment? Can we actually find that one before we jump to, let me tell you all the ways I'm suffering? Can we find that one? Right, Walter? So it's very immediate because I'm just saying, look now. No other time, not.
Certainly. I mean, I guess it seems that whatever arises in the moment could be anything. It could be anger. It could arise as frustration. It could, you know, you could cut yourself and respond. I don't know if that's considered suffering, but I mean, those things still apparently happen
Right.
to no
But
one.
But it's assumed they're happening to me, right? That's the assumption that we're right. That it's my pain. There's a me here, and it's this pain is being inflicted upon this me. And the thing is, though, if you actually look, you can't find anything. That's my experience. It's just empty. So there's just everything, but it's just empty.
Yeah. It's like, it reminds me of that Sailor Bob Adamson quote, what's wrong with right now unless you think about it.
Exactly. Very good. But so we're almost always thinking about it rather than just. There's another one that Nkosi said that I really like. He said recently, he said, this is more solid than what appears to be solid.
So maybe you could, I don't know if I get that one. This is more solid than what appears to be solid.
Yes.
So if this is already everything, if this is nothing appearing as everything, are you saying that nothing is more solid than this apparent table? In what way?
Well,
It just went over my head. I don't know.
No, there's no, you know what I mean, Walter? That's what I like about your talks. Really, they're about a discovery, right? Like we're just looking together. Just like that's what made Columbo. Do you remember the TV
Yes.
Detective Columbo?
Pardon me. Just one more thing.
Yeah. He seemed so harmless because he was bumbling and he rumpled raincoat and cigars and just one more thing. But oh man.
Yes, Peter Falk. Big fan. So the whole miracle isn't divided, isn't some places and not others. That's the illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the whole miracle isn't divided. Or it's been called the unbroken whole.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when I think about it, it just it gives me a feeling of such freedom that I spent so many years trying to get somewhere with this, some kind of ultimate understanding or final truth, or I was going to, I had all these fantasies about what enlightenment was, and, the people that I was listening to at the time would always say, well, you're not going to be there to enjoy it, and I never knew what the hell that meant. But I already wasn't there. It's like you're not here now suffering. You're not going to be
Right.
there later, like enjoying something called enlightenment. There's never been here anybody to suffer or to be in bliss.
Yeah.
But this body mind organism, this appearance seems to get that sense of freedom from the fact that it's always already. And I don't, it's done,
Yeah. Yeah. No words. That's
Yeah.
what I say, Walter. It's just a resonance.
Yeah. And all these, quotes, pointers are just beautiful, and they're simple, and they're all pointing at the same thing, which is like this one. This is wholeness playing every role, like the ocean plays every wave.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. To me, that's poetic. It is the ocean that plays the waves. And actually, there aren't even waves. The waves are the ocean. You can see that's a good, right? Waves is just sort of a overlay because it's all ocean. We call it. So that's the separation. We name things different names and think they're really separate things, but it's all the ocean.
I love that analogy. I used to hear that it was a fish looking for water, but when I heard the wave looking for the ocean, it makes much more sense because the wave is the ocean. It's this, But the fish one was good because it's like they were trying to point out that you're already like immersed in this, and you can't even see it because it's everywhere.
Yeah. Thank you. That's actually you. It's kind of what you just said reminds me of like hidden in plain sight.
Yeah.
So the me goes, well, it can't just be this. The miracle cannot be two dudes, hanging out on Zoom, talking about nothing. This cannot be the miracle.
Right. Yeah, it's too ordinary, they say, right? It's not exciting enough.
That's it. But if you really like are with it, it's reveals like you go, oh, it's like, it's sort of like, I don't know, what would be an example of something you didn't appreciate and then suddenly you looked at it in a new way and it.
Well, that what you just asked me reminds me of the your begging bowl is made of pure gold. That you don't even know the value of this thing. You're asking people to put pennies in when it's worth, millions.
Yeah. 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 No, exactly. So you wouldn't suspect the miracle would just be like a wall or this sound. Like this is too mundane.
Now, people, when they're looking for God or some higher thing, it has to be spectacular,
Well,
and it already is spectacular, but it's just too, like you said, it's hidden in plain sight.
yeah.
I heard there is no God, there's only godliness. And I wouldn't say that myself, but I get the message that there isn't this one thing that you're going to find that is
Well,
it.
last Wednesday, the sort of topic du jour was that specialness is what the me decides. This is special and this is not special. So it's constantly trying to figure out. And this doesn't see that. This doesn't judge. There's no such thing. You could say it's all special.
That's like that book. That book's The Peaceful Warrior. I think there's no ordinary moments. Because it's a miracle that everything is this is the miracle for no one, but somehow it seems like so amazing to this part of this.
It is. It is.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's it too. That's it too.
Don't you feel that? Like when I go for walks, like today I walk around Los Angeles here, and it was really hot today, but I was loving it. I was loving just seeing all the expressions, all the colors, the vibrancy, just hustle and bustle. And somehow, like, it's more than enough.
Yeah. I guess the me is never content with what is. It's always looking for the next, for more, bigger, faster.
It's painful, right? I mean, at least over here, it was it was torturous to have like a belief in my world and how things should be. I don't know how many times, right? You have to keep, no, I need it to be this way.
Yeah, outside circumstances determine my inner condition.
Oh my God, that's the hamster wheel.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
If I can get everything to be just right, in the right place, at the right time,
Right.
everybody to say their lines that
Right.
written for them. Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's so true.
Like I'm the director, I'm running the show. But I was never running the show.
Well,
You never were in the first place. It's amazing. All that control, that I never had in the beginning.
Well, like this is like kind of just a little, but it's like the difference is believing it's real. Because like when you're watching a play and maybe someone's yelling at someone, like, but it's funny, like Laurel and Hardy or Abbott and Costello, like, it's comical because it's not you. So there's nothing personal about it. So it's just funny.
Mhm.
But as soon as it becomes mine,
Yeah, that's right. I think Paul Hederman tells something about that. Like you go and see a documentary and it's called Michael Jeffries. And you're and you're very invested in this documentary, you're very emotional, you're very getting ready, you're all stressed out. What are they going to say? And then you find out it's a different Michael Jeffries. And then you're like, oh, I don't give a shit about this. It's not me.
You know what's okay? You don't even know, Walter, that actually happened. Some guy took a Zoom with me, and a few minutes into the Zoom session, he goes, you seem a lot different than you did on your video. I go, what do you mean? He goes, well, you were up in front of a crowd and you were like rah rah and getting them cheerleading and like a motivate. I said, oh. I said, well, do you have the link? And it was a completely different guy. But he had my name. So
Yeah.
it's spelled the same way. So.
Oh, wow. Sounds like he was talking about something different, I imagine.
But can you imagine the first couple minutes of our Zoom session when his brain was trying to figure out how the guy, because he had dark hair and he sort of resembled me. So in his brain, he was trying to go, well, wait, wow, this stuff must really work because this is like a different guy. It's like he couldn't, so that's in a way, that's the plight of the me, is this constant need to figure it out.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like the me wants to grab hold of this, and it wants to own this, and it wants to enjoy this, but it doesn't. The me, the me, is just a delusion.
Well, it's based on knowing, right? Isn't
Yeah.
the me whole thing based on knowing? Whole thing. I know something. I have a life. That's a knowing.
I have a life. Yeah. It really is a mystery. I love the mystery. But also there sometimes I see a curiosity and I read things and I like to hear what other people are saying about consciousness and things like that. Do you have any interest in consciousness? Let's say some of the things coming out of neuroscience or anything like that.
Yeah, that like from here, those things don't resonate anymore. There was a time, where those things did, but now it's just seen as another concept. So awareness is a concept, consciousness is a concept, everything is a concept.
Yeah. Even saying just this is a concept.
Yes. Yeah, that's like burning, burn everything and then burn the match.
Right. This is also what we're saying here is another Michael Jeffries quote. Me is trying to create its own version of heaven in heaven.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Well, that's how it feels like, because right, you see like empires being built and business moguls and entrepreneurs, and everyone's trying to get their hustle on,
Mhm.
and it's promoted. That's the get your slice of the pie quick, or someone else will get it.
It's been described as cleaning up your personal prison, you know?
Yeah, there's it so there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine. It's just, so that's why there's no like sales pitch here or preaching. It's just resonance. If that dawns on you, like you just can't do it anymore. For me it was just exhaustion. I just didn't know anymore. I tried all my tricks.
It's like you can't, it was like when I used to think about killing the ego, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like May said, somebody was asking her about the big me killing the small me.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think there's a higher me, that this small me you can somehow transcend itself and become this, a butterfly of
Yeah, no, that stuff can just play out. One thing that May and I have in common is we both followed Muji for many years. I was a big Muji guy. I thought he was great, so funny and entertaining, and you know, but like her, it was almost the same experience. It didn't work. That was the bottom line. But I was still suffering.
well, that's more of a you are awareness type teaching.
Yeah. So it was like me trying to live in the concept of awareness, which sounds a lot better, right? Sounds more freeing to be awareness than to be a me, but they're both concepts.
Yeah, because it's the you are part that loses me. You could say awareness is also a part of all that is, or awareness is also just this,
Hmm.
if you will. But back to the specialness thing we were talking about. Um, there's nothing special about awareness.
That's a good point. Good point, Walter, because it kind of is promoted like it is special. Like right now, you have ordinary awareness, not good. So you need to bump it up, and you need to get it to the super, impersonal awareness. You see,
Yeah,
right? You got to trade. Here it is, Walter. You got to trade in your personal awareness for this impersonal model.
you can upgrade.
Well, kind of, isn't that what every path? In Kosi, it's kind of funny. We tease him about his accent because it sounds like he says there's no Jenny, but what he's actually saying is there's no journey.
Hmm. And there's no Jenny either. If there's a Jenny in your group, it would kill you. But yeah, there's no journey. Yeah, because the journey is is also an appearance of a journey.
Yeah, exactly. It's imagined, but there's nothing wrong with it. That's the beauty of the non-judgment, that this doesn't judge itself. So it doesn't mind anything. And that's hard for me to hear, that this doesn't mind anything, because that includes the horrible atrocities that the me is up in arms about 24/7.
But what about the apparent person? So like Michael Jeffries, or do you get wrapped up in things? Do you get identified with things that are happening and emotional about them?
Well, anything can appear. Like I don't really monitor it. It's just whatever is happening is.
Well, in other words, sometimes people say the me does this, the me does that. And I kind of get lost because there's just this apparent happening. So if like my cat is sick, I just found out she has lymphoma and they gave her 6 months to live. And I love this cat.
Yeah.
So sadness arises.
Yeah.
And a desire to spend more quality time with the cat arises. And just certain things that seem to are happening as a result of finding out that information that the cat is sick. But I'm not doing that. These are just, I'm not speaking these words right now. So that emotion of sadness is not my emotion. I didn't cause it. I don't have to stop it. It's just what's apparently happening.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't see a me in there anywhere doing that. So sometimes I guess maybe I need clarification on, there are a lot of things attributed to the me, that the me does this, the me does that, but you don't need a me to get sad.
Yeah. Correct. Why do you need a me? Sadness can arise.
But even depression, perhaps. I mean, like whatever, I thought you may have been suggesting that it's because of the me that depression happens. But I'm not sure that a me is required.
There is no me.
Right. So if once it's seen that there is no me, these things can still arise. Can they not?
Mm-hmm. Anything, yeah, it's no problem. By the way, I remembered the quote. I went off on the Columbo tangent, and then we never got back to the quote. It had to do with this is more solid than what appears solid. We never got.
Yeah, I thought you wanted to move on, but go ahead. Yeah.
Well, just to circle back, see how
Please,
crazy thing is. To me, it's just that it's saying we tend to give credence to the temporary.
What's the temporary?
Form, appearances, structure, things that come and go, opinions, buildings.
So we give validity to them.
Bodies. We give validity to the temporary, and we somehow, in the process, don't see what's always here. And that's what I'm saying, and Kosi's pointing to, is that which doesn't come and go is the most solid of all.
Yeah. But, back to like my conversation with May, I just felt like I couldn't even say that this was real, this is not real, it's the real, it's the unreal. There's no one that knows that. There's no one that knows anything. I don't know what anything is. I can, it's only what it seems to be.
Yeah.
What seems to be to those that it seems to be.
That's why, like you and May in this conversation, there's a lot of laughter, because you end up at laughter.
Yeah. but we're, it's like we're making it all up in a way, not that we are, but this is what's happening, you know?
Sure.
And that's the real and the unreal. Like, say 100 people watch this video, that's 100 different versions of you and me and what transpired in this conversation. There's no ultimate, like, it's like all these different versions of what's happening. And that's what's apparently happening.
Yeah, they're all of us.
All right, we got some more. Michael Jeffries.
Just a second, can we have
Yeah.
what is your shirt? Can you talk
Oh,
about your shirt?
Oh, it's Primus.
Okay,
I saw them in concert once.
okay, very
Or,
good.
well, more than once, but this was from one of them. I don't even
Okay.
know. It's not a great concert shirt because it doesn't have any dates or cities on the back. It's just the same picture on the back. So
Okay, cool.
now that it's probably 20 years ago, I appreciate that more. At the time, it didn't mean anything to me to have the year on there. Yes, the painful story feels 100% real while it's being imagined. How could it not? It's just that it was never yours. Thoughts aren't speaking to anyone. That this thought is mine is just another thought. Emptiness appearing as a thought. All expressions are this. No expression is this. That's good stuff. The painful story feels 100% real while it's being imagined. So that's an interesting thing. It brings me back to my question about the me, because it's like nothing feels real or unreal. It really is just what's apparently happening. So, like the story I said about my cat, it's not that it feels real or unreal. It's just, it's what's arising.
Mhm.
You get the news, you feel the sadness, you take the action that, actions happen, deeds are done. There's no individual doer thereof. And so the painful story, well, what do you think?
Yeah, so tying this in with Nkosi's quote about this is more solid than what seems to be solid. So suddenly the appearances are now more precious in a way. The rose is more precious because it's fleeting. Your cat is more precious because it is temporary. Everything.
Yeah. And it's just more evidence that we're not doing anything. So I can't control my feelings about this cat.
Yeah.
And that I used to be involved in teachings that were about only having positive thoughts and feelings and trying to control outcomes. And I don't, I can't imagine how I'd be dealing with this if it was back then. I'd probably be imagining that this disease goes away tomorrow and like we get this miraculous news, or try to control the story. But it's like a character in the story is trying to control the story.
Right. But that's not what love is doing.
Hmm. Yeah, love seems to say that this is what is. And there's no judgment. There's nothing saying it shouldn't be what is.
Yeah, not even the cat saying that.
No. Cat actually seems pretty peaceful.
No, I was so
I'm more upset about it than she is.
that's so funny, Walter, because it's so weird. I was thinking about the difference between animals and people is that animals don't judge. They just react.
Yeah, instantaneous. Yeah, because it seems, like that me character really does think about it, how everything is in relation to itself and how everything's going to affect it and me and my life.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, the me character is innocent too. It's also this, so it's also completely okay. So this doesn't have a problem with the me.
No. Let's try another one here. All right. Innocence isn't lost. It's all there is.
Yeah. Well, that was my attempt to come up with a different word besides wholeness. I was just feeling how everything is innocent. Even the cancer is innocent. It's innocently being cancer.
Yeah. Yeah, the judgment and the evaluation comes in after the fact, and it's only a parent person that can make these evaluations. Like cats are bad, you know. Cat should live for 30 years, you know.
That's
The funny thing about saying like somebody went before their time or something went, but
right. So another way I would say is that innocence plays all the roles.
well, there's no responsibility.
No, not if there's no separation, then there cannot be any responsibility. It's like if there's just the ocean, how are you going to blame a wave?
Right. Judging seems to happen, but when looked for directly, no judger has ever been found. I love that one. I yeah, I did one of these quick sessions with Judy Cohen. You know her?
Yeah.
She does.
Scott Killaby's work?
I don't know if she's still doing that. I think
No, I don't. Maybe not anymore.
she's doing her own version. Um, but I remember that the judge came up. It was a quick session, and usually those things don't amount to much. But I really took something away about the judge because I had noticed there was this judging voice in the head, like you shouldn't do that, or it was like shoulds and shouldn'ts and that kind of stuff. And she just asked me to take a look and see like who gave that judge this authority, who's giving him the authority, and I kind of sat with that for a minute. I was like, and it just saw like this judge is just like the me. It's just it's an illusion.
Yeah.
There's no one that I need to listen to up there telling me what's good and bad.
Yeah. 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 No. Nkosi calls it the ghost. It's like a ghost. And it's just like a phantom voice, and it's assumed to be us. We think we're that voice, but you're not that voice, because you're always here and that voice comes and goes.
The voice is also just this.
Yeah. But it's not speaking to a separate entity. That's the belief. That's the me's. It's talking to me.
It's the duality of, yeah. I am judging myself. I am, you know, I know what should and shouldn't be happening.
Right, exactly. That's the the split. There's two things there. That was exactly what Mae was talking about. To judge, I thought it was really such a powerful quote. To judge, you need to. That's undeniable. There has to be the judger and the object being judged. There's just no way around that. And then she just says, but there is no judger, there is no object, and there's not even judging. All because it's all this.
Right. And to be in prison, you need a captor. You need a prison guard.
You need two things.
Yeah, yeah. So powerful. Not to. So in your meetings, are there certain things that seem to crop up a lot, or certain questions, or certain things people want to explore or get into?
Mm, well, yeah, I would say it's universal. I mean, the me likes to tell its story.
Story of suffering.
Yeah, that it's suffering because it's trying to control other people, and it's not working out very well. Or somebody annoys me. That person annoys me. So, and it feels very real, because it really feels like there's a separate someone over there and there's a separate me here, and that separate thing is, annoying this separate thing.
So what do you suggest someone is finding a certain relationship challenging like that? Was they're reaching
Yeah.
out? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's just what's happening. That's what's happening. That annoyance is free to arise. It's okay for this to be annoyed at this.
Another person that we have in common was Wayne Lickerman.
Oh yeah.
And I remember him telling a story similar, where he yelled at his son, and he went to Ramesh and he's like, I've been coming to these talks and I know that he's not the doer, but I still get mad at him, and Ramesh said, well, you left yourself out, of what's being said, that there's no doer.
Right.
So even the yelling at your son, there's no one doing that. And, obviously that was a good pointer for him at the time, because he was like, I'm supposed to use this understanding to be a better person and to be more patient and accepting. And it really is just whatever's arising. So if you're with somebody that's annoying you, maybe what arises is you get the hell away from them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really not about
See, I just want to say,
Yeah,
Walter, I just want to comment on what you just said, because there's no, see, the me thinks, especially if you're spiritual, oh boy, the spiritual one thinks that it's correct to only be kind. And so if I raise my voice or I get annoyed, now it's like doubly bad. I feel guilty, first for losing my temper, and second, I'm spiritual, so I'm not supposed to
yeah.
lose my temper. And that's all story. That's all just
It's the character playing the role of spiritual person.
it's so painful. And I don't know, is so peaceful.
Mm. It really is. It kind of stops, stops the mind a little bit. Just sit there and, I don't know, sit there and what? Just sitting in a chair, like May was saying,
I know, right? She kept saying that to you. It's just this, sitting in a
Just-
chair.
just sitting in a chair, not knowing.
Yeah, it doesn't need to know. It's like love doesn't need to know anything.
It's beautiful that it has nothing to do with understanding or figuring things out. It's not an intellectual exercise. If it was, I'd be screwed. Yeah, if you had to study complex texts and things to grasp what's being said,
Right? Yeah. I mean, it can seem like that. I remember years and years of searching with such intensity. I had every known duality book, hundreds of just, I watched everybody. And at a certain point, watching other people, that wasn't enough anymore. I remember having the thought, well, what good does it do me if, even if Muji is, quote, enlightened? How does that help me? And I realized it didn't. So I began becoming more more internal. Like, well, it must be already here because I don't know how to make it, bring it about. And there's a million paths. So let me look here, wouldn't that be something, right, Walter? Wouldn't that be something if it was here the whole time?
Yeah, and it's back to that that there's no one that can be there to enjoy something called enlightenment.
No.
It's not a separate thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm almost repeating myself, but it's just like it's always already here.
Yeah, but it's
Never
not
anywhere else.
it's not what the me thinks it, because even use the word enlightenment, the me, think about it, the me imagines it knows what that is.
Yeah. It seems like it's maybe a person that nothing bothers them, and they're just blissful all the time and floating around.
Yeah, but that's still a knowing. That's what I'm saying. Whatever you think it is, whatever your understanding or conceptual belief of, I'm saying it's everything. So it won't be what you think it is. That's the rub. It's not going to be, because you can't think of everything.
Yeah. It's stranger than we can imagine. Or more amazing than we could imagine. So are there any other things that have been on your mind you'd like to share? Anything you want to let people know about?
Yeah. So people are invited if this resonates with them or they'd like to ask Nkosi a question. He comes on Wednesday nights, usually a little bit late. So usually, but you're all welcome. So if you're interested, you can go to Michael Jeffrey's non-duality community on Facebook, and there's a link. You'll see it. It's like a tree. It's a picture of a tree. I always change the color, but you'll see a link to this Wednesday night's meeting. So we'd love to have anyone who would like to attend.
Fantastic. I'd love to have him on one of these days. I'm going to reach out to him and see. I know he comes to your meeting. It's like 3 in the morning for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
In South Africa?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. That's really generous of him to come and get up at that time.
He's amazing. No, I've never heard anything like him. I mean, when I put up those audios I've put up on my YouTube channel, his voice that I put to music.
Yes.
I know I'm biased. Okay, Walter, I know that. I think they're the best things on the internet.
Yeah. His voice is very soothing. It's you just listen and it's just I was mesmerized by the simplicity of the message, but also the delivery, or the music too helps. But it's such a good listen.
I've never heard anything like it. It's like the first time he showed up, Walter, a bunch of people were crying.
I can see that. Because when I listen to him, it's just so obvious that that there's no effort required. It's always just this. It's always right here.
Exactly. Yeah, there is no effort for right here. What effort is needed?
And we can hear that so many times, but yeah, there's this, we say there's no specialness, but there's something special about when I listen to those recordings. So I agree. I recommend also people don't listen to that.
Well, it's like hearing unconditional love speak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very clear, very simple, and there's no agenda.
It's just so obvious when you're sitting in his that all is well, that it's fine. Whatever you think you're going through, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Seems to only seem not okay when we say it's not okay. or when we think it's not okay. When that thought that this is not the way it should be arises.
Yeah, as soon as I think I know something.
But it not being okay seems to be just a thought. And I hear other people talk about an okayness with things not being okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Just it feels,
well, it's like your cat. That
yeah.
would be a good example. It's like you're okay that it's not okay for the cat.
And even that might be saying too much because I don't feel like I'm okay. I just feel like it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah,
So whatever my response is and whatever happens to the cat, it's all just what, it's just all what is.
but it's beautiful, right? Isn't it beautiful?
It is. It's beautiful that it can appear as anything. And
Yeah.
and there's no need to push anything away. So with that, I will say thank you very much, Michael Jeffries. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate you joining me. I thought it was a wonderful conversation.
Thank you so much, Walter. I really enjoyed myself. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye-bye.